Full deck lists for Commander 2016, the last of the new cards revealed, and Mark Rosewater comments on Ludovica. It's October 28th, I'm Jeremy Knoll, and this is Split Second. Daily MTG Editor-in-Chief Blake Rasmussen released an article today with the full deck lists for the Commander 2016 products. Each deck will include copies of reprints Sol Ring, Commander's Sphere, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, and Exotic Orchard. Reprints that are in some of the decks include Felwar Stone, Temple of the False God, and Skull Clamp. Commander staples Lightning Greaves, Swiftboot Boots, and Chromatic Lantern are also present, but appear once in separate decks. Each deck also has a variety of mana fixing, including the Alara and Khans Tri-lands, Bounce Lands, and Signets. You can check out the full deck lists on dailymtg.com. Also on the Magic homepage today, the release notes for Commander 2016 were posted by editor and rules manager Eli Schifrin. The article goes over the official rules updates for the new abilities Partner and Undaunted, along with card-specific notes. In case you were curious, yes, Yidris can grant your spells multiple instances of Cascade if Yidris gains Double Strike or attacks more than once in a turn. With the release notes and the fully updated card image gallery, we're also treated to all of the new cards that will be included in the set but haven't been revealed yet. First up is Migratory Route, a sorcery for 3 white-blue that has basic land cycling for 2 and says create 4 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying. Migratory Route will be included in all 3 decks that include blue and white, Stalwart Unity, Breed Lethality, and Invent Superiority. Next up is Benefactor's Draft, included in the Stalwart Unity deck. An instant for 1 and a green, it says untap all creatures. Until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls blocks, draw a card. Draw a card. Curtain's Call is an instant for 5 and a black that has Undaunted and says destroy 2 target creatures. Due to the wording on the card, it requires 2 targets to be able to cast it. Curtain's Call will be in the Entropic Uprising deck. The Breed Lethality deck includes the new enchantment Duelist's Heritage. For 2 and a white, it says whenever 1 or more creatures attack, you may have target attacking creature gain Double Strike until end of turn. Note that it doesn't say whenever your creatures attack, so this will trigger on your opponent's attacks as well. Next up is Entrapment Maneuver, an instant for 3 and a white that says target player sacrifices an attacking creature. You create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, where X is that creature's toughness. Entrapment Maneuver will be in the Stalwart Unity deck. Evolutionary Escalation is an enchantment for 1 and a green that says, at the beginning of your upkeep, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, and 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature an opponent controls. Evolutionary Escalation will be in both the Stalwart Unity and Open Hostility decks. A new take on Threaten effects, Frenzied Fugue, is an aura for 3 and a red that says Enchant Permanent. When Frenzied Fugue enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, gain control of Enchanted Permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent, it gains haste until end of turn. Frenzied Fugue will be in the Entropic Uprising and Open Hostility decks. Ancient Excavation is an instant for 2 blue-black that has basic land cycling for 2 generic and says, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, then discard a card for each card drawn that way. It will be included in the Entropic Uprising, Invent Superiority, and Breed Lethality decks. Finally, one of the most talked about cards online from this last batch that was released is Ash Barrens, a common land that taps to add a colorless to your mana pool. It also has basic land cycling for 1 generic mana. This is the first instance of a card in Magic that has basic land cycling for any cost other than 2 mana, and also the first time a cycling card has a cost of 1 generic mana. Ash Barrens will be included in all 5 Commander 2016 decks. After the initial reveal of Ludovica Necro Alchemist earlier this week, many players took to their social media of choice to express their displeasure with the card. The issue is not with the card's power level or abilities, but rather that the card does not seem to match the character of Ludovica that has been built in previous stories and cards. On Thursday, head designer Mark Rosewater responded to a player question about Ludovica on his Tumblr, Blog a Talk. User Thorn Thalid asked if Rosewater thinks it was a mistake not making Ludovica a top-down design, where the card would have been based on the character, as opposed to a bottom-up design where it was built around the mechanics. Rosewater responded stating, quote, designing Magic is hard because so many people want different things and trying to juggle them all so you can make as many people as happy as you can is difficult. I hear that many of you imagine Ludovica as being a top-down design, and maybe with 2020 hindsight that would have been the correct call, but we didn't have that hindsight when we're making things. Players had said they wanted a Ludovica card, and we had an opportunity to make one, and we knew another chance was most likely years away, so we took the opportunity." End quote. You can check out the full response on Rosewater's blog, markrosewater.tumblr.com. That's our show for today, October 28th. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with all the latest Magic news and strategy. I'm Jeremy Knoll, and this has been Split Second. What?
Twitch.